Salutations, entertainment lovers. We've got a great episode for you today with Allison Edmonds reviewing a recent release, a preview of this summer's music festivals with Louis Wiesman, and a whole lot more.
So it doesn't matter whether you're watching from a computer or a TV, because from Ball State University, The Real Deal starts now.
Hello and welcome to The Real Deal, Ball State's one and only entertainment news show. I'm Connor Fack.
And I'm Ramel Tadai. Now, in entertainment, it seems like the news cycle never stops. Here to catch us up with some of those Hollywood headlines is Danny Yant. What's the news, Danny?
Hello all. Today we're going to look at Hollywood's headlines. In recent news, the ground has been rocked for fans of One Direction all across the globe. This is not news I thought I would ever share in my lifetime, but it has happened. Here, let Kevin Hart fill you in.
Did you hear One Direction is breaking up?
What?
She just told me.
Hold the phone. Are you
Wait,
serious?
what?
When?
Zayn is leaving the band.
Zayn! Zayn is... Time out.
Yes, that's right, everyone. As you all know, it's official. Zayn Malik left One Direction and is heading another direction. According to sources, Malik left arguably the most popular European boy band in recent history because he wanted to live the life of a normal 22-year-old. When asked about his fellow members of the group, Malik said they've been cool about it and they understand that. You know, it's not real to me anymore. They still want to do it for a while, so they're going to carry on doing what they want to do, and I think they're going to do okay for a while. The ex-One Directioner does not know whether or not he will ever return, but he did put rumors about his girlfriend to rest by stating that she is, quote, a good girl and also supports his decision. In other news, it seems like Europe can't catch a break because Downton Abbey producer Gareth Neame has officially decided to end the series after its 6th season. According to Entertainment Weekly, when asked, he stated that he wanted to leave them with wanting more, leave while the show is in really robust health and a year or two earlier than you might expect, just so you can be sure to maintain the quality of the work. And hopefully people will look back on what was a well-formed show and not say what people often say, which is, well, it was a great show, but it ran out of steam. When asked about the future, Neame talked about the possibilities of Downton Abbey movie, but for right now, he's going to focus on finishing this series. It's the most nominated non-U.S. show in Emmy's history with 51 nominations and has won 3 Golden Globes. And finally on today's headlines, we have a look at one of the main villains in Zack Snyder's upcoming superhero epic, Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Entering a new generation of superhero films with both Marvel and DC Comics cranking out films that are sure to jump, kick, and punch the box office into billions of dollars, Batman vs. Superman is just the beginning. A picture of bald Jesse Eisenberg was leaked on the internet last week. He is playing the role of the infamous Lex Luthor in the new Batman vs. Superman film. According to Entertainment Weekly, director Zack Snyder said, "Our Lex Luthor is disarming and he's not fake. He says what he believes and he says what's on his mind. If you can unravel the string and decipher what he means, it's all there." The rest of this star cast includes Amy Adams, Ben Affleck, Lawrence Fishburne, and Jeremy Irons. And the film is set to be released March 26, 2016. That's all in the Hollywood headlines, guys. Back to you.
Danny, you know, it has to be difficult out there for all those One Direction fans. Having that kind of thing happen to the band must have been insane.
Sure. Anyway, with so many movies coming out every week, many wonder if any particular film is worth their time and money.
Here to give a review of the recently released Get Hard is our very own Allison Edmonds. How did you feel about it, Allison?
You know, I must say I'm a bit surprised by the film Get Hard with the 2 funny men, Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. The movie just released March 27th and already has viewers quite upset at the content of the film. When the movie first started out, I expected it to be a lot different from what actually happened. Now, in my opinion, the movie has a great storyline that can be easily understood. However, the combination of homophobic humor and racism has made this movie into something else. Now, box office sales showed that Get Hard made almost $20,000 less than the movie Home, which also released on the 27th. Now, despite the content and words contained in the film, the production wasn't the worst. Now, some parts of the film were creative, yet others were simply not eye-catching. There was one point in the movie where the special effects were very obvious. Now, the music collection, on the other hand, was the best feature of the film in my eyes. Now, there was even a flow of different genres of music, from Iggy Azalea's best hit, Fancy, to Changes by the one and only Tupac. Now, overall, I expected more from Farrell and Hart, considering these two men to be the funniest of the funniest in entertainment. But, you know, I feel that the film had a lot more potential to be great and to give a message. It just was handled just poorly. Now, when making a film with so much homophobia and racial slurs, it's important to make sure no one is offended. However, because these two are loved by so many, I'm sure this film will end up doing just fine. Well, that's all from me. Back to our hosts.
Thanks, Allison. It can be quite disappointing when actors you love push out such low-quality content.
Yes, but we here at The Real Deal can guarantee that more quality, non-disappointing content is coming your way, with Becca Malberg discussing a guilty pleasure of hers, Isaac Watley giving the spotlight to an under-the-radar director, and a whole lot more.
So, stay tuned.
Or it could be a stranger in a crowd. Whatever helps it get close to you.
I have to see her again.
Are you looking for this?
You are the key, Triss, to rescue what little civilization we have left.
No pressure. I'm not gonna let you do it. You're real. Yeah, I'm real.
We do this, we do it hard.
I can get hard.
As your incarceration expert, this is my job to prepare you. We are about to simulate a prison riot.
That was intense, right?
Actually, I feel fine.
Ow!
What? Will be unforgettable.
Look, I has found our car.
Now it's all out you know.
Are you trying to drive me crazy?
DreamWorks.
Welcome back to the program. Now, as much as we would like to hide it, we all have certain pieces of entertainment that we feel a little guilty for enjoying.
Here to talk about a guilty pleasure she's enjoyed over the years is our very own Becca Malberg. What's on your mind, Becca?
Thanks, guys. Well, I have a confession. It's taken me a while to get here, but I am ready to admit it. I watch Gossip Girl, and I enjoy it. You know, it all started about 2 weeks ago when I found the entire show on Netflix, and I just finished watching several sitcoms in a row, so I was ready for a change in genre. I found that all of Gossip Girl was on Netflix, so I started it. I finished the first season in less than a week, which doesn't sound too impressive for your average binge watcher, but just know I started Breaking Bad 2 years ago, and I'm only halfway through season 1. Like I said, I usually watch sitcoms, so Gossip Girl was a nice change in pace. It's huge ensemble cast, it's posh New York air, and its constantly changing relationship statuses make it a fast-paced show. The episodes constantly end in cliffhangers, making me super glad I'm binge-watching it now that it's off the air and not having to wait a whole week for a new episode. It's one of those shows where you watch it and end up feeling more posh the minute you step away from the screen, but you also get worried that everyone is talking behind your back. I'm on season 2 now, but I anticipate that I will finish all 6 seasons by the end of finals week. If my speed of season 1 completion is any indication, I think you guys should check out Gossip Girl. All 6 seasons, like I said, are available on Netflix. That's it for me. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Becca. Well, it's always interesting to have something recommended that the general populace may not be crazy about. It's also beneficial to be recommended to a filmmaker who may have gone unnoticed.
Here to tell you about a filmmaker that may have gone under the radar is Isaac Watley. Who should we be paying attention to, Isaac?
The entertainment world has brought us some amazing films over the years, including huge blockbuster hits to lesser-known works that may have not made their way to the worldwide spotlight. One producer who started out under the radar but is starting to pick up more national attention is Alex Kendrick. Alex Kendrick is a film director, producer, and writer from Albany, Georgia, who has produced some of my favorite films, including Fireproof, Facing the Giants, and Courageous. All films that focus on the inspiring topic of faith. One of the reasons that I find the films of Alex Kendrick to be so exciting is the unique way in which they were produced. While some of the films come from big-name studios with millions of dollars poured into them, Kendrick's films were all produced from a church where the cast and crew were all members of the congregation who volunteered their time and talent to make each film a success. In 2003, Alex Kendrick, along with his brother Stephen, worked as media pastors at a local church in Georgia where they set out to write a film that would inspire and bring hope to viewers. The result was the script to a film called Flywheel. The church, Sherwood Baptist, was able to put together a very small budget of $20,000 to help make the idea of the film become a reality. With the small budget, Kendrick founded Sherwood Pictures and was able to start filming. The unique aspect of the production, however, is that no one on set was paid. It was completely volunteer. From sound technicians to camera operators to actors, everyone from the church came together so that the film could be completed. The film didn't end up making a theatrical release, but it was featured on DVD and Blockbuster stores throughout the country. However, the lack of a theatrical release did not hinder Kendrick or the rest of the members of Sherwood Church from planning a script for another feature film. This led to the film called Facing the Giants. Through the same process of working together and volunteering, Sherwood Church and Kendrick were able to produce another picture, this time gaining a national theatrical release. After the release of Facing the Giants, Kendrick then had enough funds to increase the production value tremendously on his next two films, Fireproof and Courageous. Once again, these films were also produced through the collaboration of many volunteers. The films that Sherwood Pictures produced gained a lot of popularity and succeeded at the box office. So while these films may not be as well known as some of the more popular blockbusters, I find it really inspiring how a single church and its members were willing to pull together to be part of something really special. Kendrick says that every aspect of these films were prayed over and that they were able to be produced by relying on God and having faith that He would provide. This has been Under the Radar. Back to you, Connor and Ramel.
Thanks, Isaac. That was quite the inspiring story.
And while we may not be able to inspire people quite as deeply as that story, we can promise quality entertainment-related content.
Up next, we've got a preview of upcoming music festivals with Louis Wiesman, a Like This, Try That with Julia Ritchie, and a whole lot more, so stay tuned.
Welcome back. Now, with summer quickly approaching, many may be interested in hitting up the country's hottest music festivals.
Louis Wiesman's here to give us a preview of a few of the more popular music festivals coming up soon. Where should we set our sights on, Louis?
Let's take a scene. You're surrounded by thousands of your best friends in the warm summer sun, with your favorite music blaring over some speakers. You're dancing along, having a great time. It's nothing but good vibes. That is what music festival season is all about. Good music, good vibes, and good times. With hundreds of festivals happening all around the world, usually starting at the beginning of April, the goal of these festivals is to appeal to everyone. Get fans of music into new music, show off art, meet new people, and overall, to make of it what you want it to be. With so much to offer, it's up to the patron to choose how they want their festival experience to be. One of the first major festivals happening this year is going to be Coachella, hosted at Indio, California. The 2 weekends of the event start on Friday, April 10th and Friday, April 17th. The 2-weekend event is already sold out, but passes are available online on sites like StubHub. Coachella, the only 16-year-old event, is large enough to garner headlining names like Jack White, Drake, and even the classic rock band AC/DC. Other classic rock bands like Steely Dan will be there as well. Some other big names from 2014 who will be there include DJ Snake, St. Vincent, and Hozier. Another not as well-known festival out there is the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. Starting on April 24th, the festival will be hosting a large variety of musical artists over the 2 weekends. It's 7 days of music, and just when I thought that wasn't large enough already, they have 12 stages out there for all the bands. Wow! Each stage is packed with awesome talent, with some of the most talented jazz musicians in the world. Of course, they will be bringing in bigger artists like Elton John and The Who to bring in a wider audience, but that doesn't detract from the impressive lineup of the festival leading up into these bands. From May 22nd to May 24th, Chillicothe, Illinois will be hosting Summer Camp, The 14-year-old event has garnered some of the biggest fans and bands in bluegrass, jam rock, and classic rock altogether. By booking bands with such close-knit followings, summer camp creates a tightness and closeness together as a festival. And of course, the festival is greatly used to the jam band scene, seeing as there's going to be 5 sets of Moe and Humphrey McGee's. The last one I'm going to talk about today is going to be one of the more well-known festivals, Bonnaroo. It's actually the youngest festival in this segment, but I would guess probably one of the most well-known. Rolling Stone magazine put Bonnaroo as one of the top 50 moments that changed rock and roll. Focusing first on jam rock and then exploding into any genre you could think of, Bonnaroo has taken the music scene and festival scene by force. With a lineup that it could piece from anyone from Billy Joel, Kendrick Lamar, Deadmau5 5, Earth, Wind & Fire, and even Slayer, I think it's safe to say that Bonnaroo is definitely one to check out. Can't make it though? It's okay. They broadcast a good chunk of the acts online through YouTube. Well, that's all I have, unfortunately. I've run out of time, and I haven't begun talking about Wakarusa, Pitchfork Music Festival, Lollapalooza, Electric Forest. If you want more information on bands to check out and a better history of some of these festivals, be sure to look out on realdealbsu.com for my festival preview article that will be available in the next few weeks. As for myself, I will see you at Fish's Magna Ball this summer out in New York. I'm Lee Wiesman, and this has been your Music Minute Festival Preview Edition.
Thanks for that, Louie. Looks like there are some really good festivals out there with something for everybody's taste.
There really is. And the same can be said for film, where there are plenty of films produced for people who like a plethora of things. Unfortunately, some of these films can go unnoticed.
Here to give us a Like That, Try This based on a popular show ending soon is our very own Julia Ritchie. Julia?
Thanks, Connor. April 5th marks the beginning of the end for AMC's groundbreaking drama, Mad Men. The series' exquisite look into the world of advertising in the 1960s through its rich storyline and dynamic characters has made it a pop culture phenomenon. Mad Men also paved the way for the recent renaissance in cable programming. Without it, we wouldn't have shows like Breaking Bad or The Walking Dead. While television certainly owes a lot to Mad Men owes just as much to a certain Billy Wilder film from the same era. It's one of my personal favorites, and I have a feeling many of you Mad Men fans will enjoy it too. I'm talking about the 1960 Oscar winner for Best Picture, The Apartment. Starring Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine, and Fred MacMurray, The Apartment is centered around insurance clerk C.C. Baxter, who is working his way up the corporate ladder by lending out his Manhattan apartment to various company executives for their extramarital affairs. Although this is a major inconvenience for Baxter, he puts up with it until he discovers that Fran Kubelik, the endearing elevator operator he has a crush on, is the secret mistress of sleazy personnel director Jeff Sheldrake. Heartbroken, Baxter soon finds himself having to choose between his excellent new position in the company and his love for Miss Kubelik. But that's all I'm going to tell you plot-wise, because the setups and payoffs throughout Wilder and I.A.L. Diamond's clever, engaging screenplay are reason enough to watch this film. When I watched The Apartment for the first time last year, I found myself making comparisons between it and Mad Men in multiple areas, from the office and sexual politics to the character types. It's not hard to imagine that the men of Sterling Cooper passing around the key to Baxter's apartment, and also both the film and the TV series, have a no-nonsense secretary named Miss Olsen. And sure enough, Mad Men's creator and showrunner Matthew Weiner has cited the film as a major inspiration. He even included it on a list of viewing for those working on the show. Weiner has also expressed his admiration for The Apartment's exploration of the darker side of an era that is often looked upon nostalgically, something that he has emulated in his own writing for Mad Men. The Apartment not only isn't afraid to visit these dark places, but it also blends the melancholy with the light yet sardonic humor with an honesty that allows the audience to connect with characters and give the film its timeless quality. So if you're mad for Mad Men, or if you're just looking to watch a film that's absolutely terrific comedy-wise, character-wise, and story-wise, I highly recommend The Apartment, movie-wise. This has been Like This, Try That. I'm Julia Ritchie. Back to you, Ramel and Connor.
Thanks, Julia. It looks like The Apartment is worthy viewing for many people.
Speaking of worthy viewing for many, coming up next, we've got our final word, so stick around.
You and your friends are a part of it now.
I don't have friends. I got family.
You have thwarted me and closed the doors in my face.
This is a case of one woman wanting justice.
People see a masterpiece by one of Austria's finest artists. But I see a picture of my aunt. We should be reunited with what is rightfully ours.
I would like to be the man who walks beside you.
You do walk beside me.
Not just from 5 to 7.
The pains of eternal torment would be no worse than returning with you.
Chris, we're really quite keen on.
I mean, what is fabulous management? This is mismanagement?
The Who would never have been successful without two special people. There's Kit Lambert and there was Chris Stamp.
Welcome back. As much as we love to talk about and pick apart the professionals in Hollywood and beyond, there's plenty of entertainment talent right here on campus too.
This past Friday, Ball State honored some of those talented students at the 17th Annual Frog Baby Film Festival, which showcased 24 student-made films.
There were some very impressive projects shown that night, and several filmmakers took home multiple awards. Connor and I both attended the festivities, so here with our personal favorites of the evening, this is The Final Word.
Hands down, my favorite film was the music video for the song Sirens by the Grey Havens. The group is a folk duo comprised of husband and wife team Dave and Lisha Radford, based near Chicago. Their video for Sirens, however, was filmed, edited, and animated by Ball State's own Bobby Bennett. Yes, animated. The video combines live action sequences of a man writing a love letter with animated sequences of Ulysses, or really just an every sailor, encountering the deadly sea sirens that lead men to their dooms. The animated sequences are in limited animation, just pen and ink and paper cutouts, but are breathtaking nonetheless. The layers were arranged in digital space using Adobe After Effects, allowing for zooms, rack focusing, lighting shifts, and other bits of digital wizardry. Bennett had created an initial draft of the project for his advanced video class and had had no prior relationship with the Grey Havens. He was initially just a casual fan. But when he attended a concert of theirs, he was able to show them his project, and after making a few requested changes, they have since endorsed Bennett's video as their official music video for Sirens. The video pairs brilliantly with the soulful music, which falls somewhere between a folk hit, rock ballad, and a sea shanty. Bennett says that the project reinforced his respect for planning ahead, since that would have made it a lot easier, but still, Sirens looks great, sounds awesome, and is definitely worth a watch.
For me, my favorite film was the alternative experimental piece, Hole. Directed by Nick Reith, Hole shows the main character, the man, played by Anthony Campagna, being amorously sent off by his parents only to find out that he has been abandoned with a hole in his chest. As he embarks on a journey of a lifetime, the man does his best to find something to complete him. With the film not for the faint of heart, only 3 scenes were particularly gory in terms of accentuating the brutality the man and the similar peers he came across experienced throughout the journey. As per festival archives, since the setting of the film is entirely outdoors, the crew scouted locations for weeks to be sure that they chose the right ones. And surely, the locations were on point. With the great creative minds of director Nick and his brother Patrick, the overall off-the-cuff style of the film definitely set the tone of the story, along with the subtle underlying meaning of what it means to be actually complete as a human being. With great compliments of the beautiful original score by Joshua Katner and rustic cinematography provided by Bobby Bennett, Hole is the right kind of strange and incongruent piece of film that is something worthwhile.
And that wraps up the show for this week. Be sure to check out our website, Facebook, and Twitter pages for news and updates on all things entertainment. I'm Connor Fack.
And I'm Ramel Tadai. We'll see you next time.